Welcome everybody to Off the Dome podcast. I am here joined by my co-host Andrew Hedges. My name is Lucas Henson. Andy, how we doing today, big guy?
Good, man. I'm still working hard over here in enemy territory, Topeka, Kansas. And, I put up with these Jayhawk and Wildcat people long enough to come home and talk Mizzou sports with you. So we're doing good.
That's what we love to hear. See, I'm on the good side of the line over here in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. Actually, you'd be surprised. I feel like I run into more Beaker fans here than Tiger fans. That's kind of depressing, honestly.
They blew it up
Um,
too
I'm
much.
we're one of the cooler ones, on the Missouri side that are Mizzou fans, which makes more sense. Um, But dude, how was your weekend? Last time we talked was, the other day, but how was your weekend for the people who don't know?
Well, yeah, for those who don't know, we had a pretty great weekend together down in Como. And I got to see the boys take home a 36-7 dub against those what are the Volunteers. Yeah,
What is
the
the
Dogs.
volunteer?
Yeah, what is volunteer? I don't know. Yeah, we know. Yeah, I said on last week's show, Morgan Wallen was going to be a not happy camper. Such is the case, and pretty great weekend, man. Not gonna lie. Well, okay, yeah. Friday, not so great. Saturday, phenomenal. So
Saturday made up
it
plus
did.
for Friday's
Yeah.
performance of the basketball team. I agree because the last 2 years that Tennessee, kind of they gave us the thrashing. It felt good to just shit on them, like to put it bluntly, like we absolutely just like kicked their ass. Words from Drink, not exactly, but similar. Um, So we'll jump right into it, man. Mizzou versus Tennessee. They come into town. Last 2 years, they put up like 128 points or 26 points. We put up like 40, 46 points, I believe, is what the last 2 years were combined. Going into this game, tell me your feelings.
Just hoping. Well, I the outlook, or I guess the prediction changed in the light of Friday's events, but I was optimistic. I knew that we talked about this the last couple of weeks that we'd played a very good game against Georgia, and they had bullied some kids up in Connecticut. So there was quite a difference in the quality of opponent that we had both played before this game. And I thought we both knew that the rankings were bullshit for putting Tennessee ahead of us. I felt
And it
pretty good.
showed.
Yeah, it showed. I felt pretty good. I still thought Tennessee was going to make it a competitive game, hence, our score predictions from last week. And then we beat the freaking beat the shit out of them, to be honest. And it was awesome. So, yeah, how did I feel Friday? Decent. After Friday night, not great. Saturday, good. Saturday night, phenomenal.
So it's funny you bring up our score predictions. I think you had I forget exactly, but it might have been like a 4 point game or something.
Yeah,
I had
38.
Mizzou. I had Mizzou winning by 2 scores.
Yeah.
So that felt pretty. I mean, they blew mine out of the water. They won by like almost 4 scores,
Mhm.
which is insane. Actually, they did win by 4 scores. It was 4 possession game,
No.
which is wild. I knew Tennessee wasn't as good as the rankings showed, but I didn't think we were gonna hold them to 7 points. Somebody
And
said they haven't been held to 7 points since like 2020 or something
yeah,
insane like that. Which is, the defense really came out to play. I mean, the whole team, that was probably our most complete game all year.
oh, for
From the
sure.
start of the game to the end of the game, we controlled every aspect of that football game. Now, you did bring up the quality of opponents the week before, and I had a question for you about that. Do you think having, in our case, we played Georgia and they played UConn, do you think it was more beneficial for a team like us to play UConn or not UConn, Georgia, and like lose, but it's a close game, and they're the number one team in the country, or playing a team like UConn where you drop 56 points on them? What do you think benefits you going into a matchup like this?
I would say that, well, again, kind of something that had been talked about in the group chat a few weeks ago. Get all your non-conference games out of the way earlier in the year, because
Mhm.
I also think it's a well, I guess that bleeds back into your question right now, but I think it's a disadvantage in the conference race at the end of how we could be playing Georgia and Tennessee
Mhm.
can just get an easy pick-me-up game against UConn. But I
Yep.
think to answer your actual question, I think we were way better prepared because if we can hang within 9 of Georgia, then we can take anybody to the wire, if not beat them, as opposed to Tennessee. you can look really damn good, but you played UConn. Like, it's not gonna give you. It's not gonna tell you a whole lot.
Do you think losing, because when we lost to Georgia, our SEC East, champion, like a dream, kind of went out the window there. Tennessee's was still live going into this game. Like there was a scenario where they could still win it.
Yeah.
Um, with us losing that game, some people were like Mizzou might be on a hangover and lose to Tennessee. I think people were overhyping Tennessee a little bit. I don't think they're a bad team, even with our thrashing on them. I think that speaks volume of how good we are, not how bad they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, I still think they're a good team. I think they could still compete with a lot of teams. I think it just shows you, how good this Mizzou Tigers team is. People thought that game to Georgia could have been I'm not gonna say a fluke, but like they weren't ready to give us all that attention, and
Okay.
then we came and backed it up
Yeah.
against a good Tennessee team.
Yeah.
Um,
I think to all the outsiders too, like you just take you take the season for what it's worth right now, and it was fair to think that it was going to be a close game, that they were giving Tennessee, slightly more favorable outlook in this game, but they didn't factor in the last 2 years. The fact that Mizzou wanted this game as bad, if not more so, than they wanted the Georgia game, just because of how Heupel had been petty, run up the score on us the last 2 years. This game was at home. We'd bound. I mean, we were, this game was pretty much to determine the outlook of the season from here on out. Because, like you said, SEC East not going to happen anymore. But this is the difference between us spiraling and falling down to maybe a 9-3, 8-4 year, or still salvaging the season and potentially, getting to 10-2 and a New Year's Six bowl. So these guys, I knew, again, like I said, I think the outsiders didn't realize that this game still had significant ramifications in the Mizzou locker room, but we all knew. So
100%. I agree with you 100% there. Um, I think I don't know. Going into this game, I was nervous, but I wasn't that nervous just because the common opponents that we played, we outplayed them. And Tennessee, uh, I mean they destroyed South Carolina. At the time, I thought South Carolina was a good team. God, I can't talk. I'm so excited about. We'll get to it here in a little bit. I'll
yeah,
come back to it. At the time, I thought South Carolina was a good team. Clearly, they're not. And I would say we beat them, just as bad.
yeah,
Kentucky game, we destroyed them. Tennessee barely won.
yeah.
They lost to Florida. Um,
We'll see how
and it
that
just came.
goes. Yeah,
It just comes down to like the common opponents we had. We play better. I didn't think Joe Milton was going to be. He was going to be the X factor if they won or lost that game. To be honest with you, if he was balling out, then they were going to win. We shut him down pretty quick. But the thing that we shut down, defense stepped up. Um, I say stepped up. They've been playing pretty good, but to stop the third best rushing offense to 83 yards or 84 yards. I'll tell you right now the exact number. They
insane.
had 83 rushing yards.
Yeah,
That's insane. That is literally absurd. And then
Cody, Cody Schrader literally set the fucking SEC record against them.
I was literally about to get to that. And then on
So,
the
sorry.
you flip the script,
Yeah,
Tennessee's rush defense was so good,
yeah,
everyone thought Schrader's not going to be a problem. Bro ran for 205. They couldn't stop him. He did whatever that he wanted to that Tennessee defense. The first drive, I will say, we're driving down the field, and you feel pretty good. Mizzou's moving the football, and then Brady throws that pick.
yeah,
Um, and at that time, it's like you're like shit. And then Tennessee goes, or 3-and-out. I'm pretty sure for Tennessee, we get the ball back, and we again move the football,
yep,
field goal.
yep.
When we settled for that field goal, it's like okay, we're moving the ball. We just got to be able to finish these drives.
Right.
Tennessee throws that bomb. They score. I do want to give credit for that. That was an unbelievable catch.
I didn't think he caught it because I was watching the game on the hill, and your seats, you were a lot closer to that than I was.
I was right by the end zone.
Yeah. What do you think he caught it?
Oh, 100%.
You? Yeah. I thought, I was hoping. I mean, it all happens so fast until you
Yeah, it
see
does.
it. But I was just like, no, that should hit the ground. No way. And then they showed the replay, and I was like, that might be a catch, and it was.
It,
And I mean, props to the receiver, but I didn't think they were done scoring after that.
Okay, so that was the thing that scared me. Is like we took 2 long drives to get 3 points. It was third down. We were about to get to Joe Milton. I remember him throwing the ball and me just it felt like I was watching the ball for like an hour in the air. Like, oh my God. And then they scored. And I was like, it took us 2 drives to get 3 points. It took them, 3, 4 plays to, throw a 40. What was the long there? It was a 46-yard touchdown. I was
Yeah.
like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, they can just answer back so quick. Little did you know they weren't going to score again for the rest of the game. They didn't even the closest they got was that field goal or drink ice the kicker.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
and you have to. I mean, because the final score, I mean, we did kick their ass, but people probably don't realize if they only saw the box score, is that halftime it was a 13-7 game. And very easily could have been a 10-10 game if we forced that fumble with like half a minute to go, and then Cody
yes,
picked off another long run, got us back into field goal range. So just very timely, turnovers by our defense, and um, yeah, like you said earlier, it was literally a perfect game. Like anytime they threatened after the touchdown, we had an answer, whether it was the fumbles or missing a field goal at the end. It was awesome.
I'm trying to find the red zone stats. That game could have been a lot more out of hand
Yeah,
if we would have scored touchdowns in the red zones and not field goals.
yeah.
Um, I do want to point out how many total yards of offense we had. Do you know the number?
Well, Cody Schrader accounted for
It,
three
y- yeah, he
20,
had like yeah.
add in Brady Cook. I don't think we break 600.
No, we didn't break 600.
569.
No, 530. But still, 530 yards of offense is a lot.
Very good.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
against that defense, that's pretty good.
We had 26 first downs to Tennessee's 15. We had 1 turnover, which was that pick on the first drive. They
Yeah,
had 3 turnovers, and then they had 350 yards of offense, which for a Tennessee team that I think coming into the game, their average points was over 30. It's pretty good. We had the ball for twice as long as they did. And if Drink in his press conference, they asked him, "Was that part of the game plan?" He said, "No, it was not part of the game plan. It just happened."
yeah,
Which is crazy to think. I will say I didn't think keeping the ball from Tennessee was how we were going to win that game, just because that's how they play the game. They like to keep the ball away. They like to run it. And we did what Tennessee was good at, but we just did it better,
yeah,
which is hilarious. But 36-7 thrashing Tennessee State champs.
yeah.
By the
Tennessee, baby.
way,
Yep.
Tennessee State
I
champs.
have to find me one of those shirts. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. The thing about this game that still irks me a little bit. Okay, so I understand Tennessee was ranked higher than us by 1 rank going into the game. I don't know how they could have them as favorites in Columbia. I don't get that. Uh, I still don't get it. I mean, the score definitely does not dictate that. But I will say, being back in Columbia, we talked about it, I think on the last pod. The last game I went to was 6 years ago exactly. Same team, same day, everything. It
Hey,
felt
baby,
really good.
we were freshmen.
It was walking into that day. I remember I was talking to Macy, and on the way home, we were driving home after the game. I asked her what was her favorite part about the game, and she goes, "How happy you looked, bro." I was smiles the whole time, just taking it in.
You haven't seen the new South End zone, had you?
No, no, our
Yeah,
freshman year that wasn't there.
yeah, yeah,
It looked really cool.
yeah,
Actually, today I looked at how much tickets were over there because I want to go sit over there.
yeah,
They were actually cheaper than I expected.
yeah. Hey, when we're rich and famous, that's where we're gonna be.
Yeah, when this pod
Oh,
takes off, that's where we're gonna sit
yeah, we'll have
off
all
the
those players when they run out.
off the dome, sweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it. Oh my gosh, dude! Like, I was trying to figure out how to come back this Saturday. It's not gonna happen. But I was like, I gotta try, dude. It was electric. From Mr. Brightside playing, dude. That was top two moment for me while we were there.
yeah,
To be honest with you, that was so cool to experience. Screaming "MIZZOU" across the stadium was awesome.
yeah. I know, dude.
And it was cool because they showed off the 2013 team
Yeah,
there
I didn't
with
know
Gary.
that.
I didn't either with Coach Pinkle, and I was telling Macy when I lived in Columbia, I worked
Yeah.
at the AT&T store, and I got to meet him, and I got to like upgrade his phone.
James Franklin or Pingle?
No, Pinkle.
Pingle. Okay. Yeah.
Every year he'd come in there wanting the new iPhone, dude, and I would
You never told me that.
yeah, I upgraded his phone one time. Dude. I was sitting there, I didn't even know what to say. I was like,
Hello.
um,
That's awesome.
so yeah, dude, it was seriously like a highlight of my year. I was kind of hoping we'd storm the field, but after we whooped their ass, I was like, "There's no point of storming the field." I wanted to do it so bad, dude. I was.
My buddies, I'm like, did we do it? Did we do it? No, we're
If it
better than
was a
that.
closer game, I could see it happening.
Yeah.
It was like a field goal, but it was funny because I sat on the Tennessee sideline, like on the Tennessee side.
Yeah.
I was surrounded by Tennessee fans, bro. Start of the fourth quarter, they were gone.
So, well, I mean, it's a long drive back to Knoxville. You might as well get started.
It was funny to do that. I've never heard people like I've been to plenty of Chiefs games, sporting events in general. I've been to other Mizzou games. I've never heard people complain about the refs more than Tennessee did.
Yeah. Well, dude. Okay, so obviously we're at the game and we're not, following along on social media as much, following the TV broadcast. I didn't even really realize it until Sunday morning when I
Mhm.
was, catching up on the 200 messages I'd missed in the chat. And yeah, I didn't know. I feel like the ref argument holds some weight in football for maybe up to like a 10 to 14 point loss, but they lost by 29. There's
I w-
no way that you can think that the difference in a game is the refs when you lose by 4 possessions.
I wouldn't even say the refs could make up for. I think if you win because of the refs, let's just say hypothetically, I think it's a 3-point game. I don't think it could be 10, 14 points.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it was a 20 or yeah,
29 points.
29 points, dude. Like
Sick.
you didn't lose because you lost because we're better. That's clearly what it
They
is.
were cruising too, dude. They had found this clip of, I think it was the first or second drive where Schrader went in on a chip block, and they're like, "Oh, he punched a Tennessee defender, and it was like a kidney shot, and if he would have been ejected, he would have never gone off for 300 yards." And I was like, it doesn't even look like a punch. He
Oh
ran
no.
into him, and you don't see him be like, "Well, bam!" He kind of chips him with his shoulder, and I mean, yeah, his elbow probably hit him a little bit, but bro, if you talk about a reach, my God, that just
Speaking of so we whooped their ass.
mhm.
There's really not much to say about this game. I mean, we Schrader did his thing. The
We
defense
can
did their thing.
yeah,
The team overall did their thing.
yeah,
Um,
and they looked beautiful doing it, dude. Let's talk about
they
those uniforms.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you brought that up. Actually, when I got to
Oh,
my seats,
yeah,
I looked at Macy and I said,
they
"It
look
looks
good.
so beautiful. It looks so good, dude." That's what I wanted. When we talked last week on the show, I said I want black Air Force One energy, and that's what they did, dude.
The block M, dude. Chef's kiss.
Seeing it in person, bro, I was sitting there like, "Oh my god, it looks so good." I thought that the whole game, dude. Every time I'd be like, "Wow, those jerseys look so good." Um, Actually, speaking of that, someone I work with is a KU fan. He was talking about Mizzou's uniforms today. He was talking to me about it, and he goes, "Dude, your all's uniforms are so nice." I said, "I know, they're
From a
so good." Yeah, from a KU fan.
yeah, all right, all right.
I know. I said, "I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take it."
My only question now is I was asking my buddy when the ass whooping had already come, or I think we just had the pick six and we're just shooting the shit until the clock hit zero, and I was like, okay, do we look better if the numbers are in gold? Because now they're white and the Mizzou in front's in white. I'm like, would we look even better if they were in gold? Other than that, I mean, you can't make it any better. But that's my only other aesthetic question.
Uh, I would have to see it, but if you're gonna make the numbers gold, it has to be outlined in white.
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's my only
I would.
other I'm
I wouldn't be
curious.
opposed to seeing it, but I do think the white numbers would
It
probably look
pops
better.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the name on the back's gold, so you get both. But I
Yeah.
was curious.
Unis
Yeah.
look good. Actually, my Luther Burden jersey was shipped today, so I'm super excited to get that. Hopefully, I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna have it by this weekend, which sucks. But hopefully, I have it by the Arkansas game, so I can stunt on them piggies. Um, but I feel like, dude, like the team just played so good overall, and if you watch the game, like you know that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna read you
Like 4 times already.
Tennessee's. drive summary, okay?
Yep.
Um, okay, so punt, touchdown, punt, fumble, punt, 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 fumble, interception. Like that was the pick six. Punt, missed field goal. That was their drive summary for the whole game. Isn't that absurd?
That's insane. That's insane.
And then
Wouldn't
This
if
is
you was
Mizzou's.
I'm like, no way.
This is Mizzou's interception. So we threw that pick on the first drive. Field goal, touchdown, punt, field goal, touchdown, field goal, punt, touchdown, punt. End of game. A lot more touchdowns in there than punts.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
will
is
I will say, man, like at that first drive, things were looking good. Brady throws the pick, and for a second, I was a little worried. I'm like, shit, like that's the pick against LSU, that's the pick against Georgia. Everything's going good. And I mean, granted, it's the first drive of the game, but
yeah.
like my heart sunk a little bit. But defense immediately bailed them out. We got back on track. We stopped them, because that's the first drive of the game. Tennessee gets it the second half. I think we got them 3-0 there too. So I mean, immediately righted the wrong. But yeah, I didn't see that
Yeah.
coming.
Start of the second half, it was a 3-and-out.
Yeah. So,
Um,
and we were talking about this before the show, before we got on. I did not think Mizzou was going to actually be close to 38 points, but I was 2 off from my score prediction. And I way overestimated on Tennessee, but
I think I was 38 points too.
I don't know. We'll have to go back and look at the tape.
Yeah. I think we both had 38, but you had like 34, 35. I had 21.
Yeah.
I was smoking them, but I didn't think it was going to be like this. Um, which is really good to say. And with that thrashing, the new college football playoff rankings came out tonight. Tennessee
Mhm.
dropped down to 18. They dropped 5 spots. And your Missouri Tigers jumped up 5 spots from 14 to 9.
Woo, baby.
Top 10. We
Oh,
jumped
it
in.
feels good.
It feels so good, dude.
It feels
I
amazing.
remember someone put out a poll today asking whether they think if Mizzou's going to be in the top 10. I said no, but I think they should be. I didn't think they were going to put us over Oregon State because they just destroyed whoever they played. I think it was Stanford. And Louisville's 9-1. So in Louisville 9, Oregon State 10, us 11 was kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And no, we jumped both of them. We jumped a 9-1 Louisville team.
I tell you what, I think I kind of shit on him the first week we talked about him, the CFP committee, but I like him a hell of a lot better than the AP right about now.
Yeah, I shit on them last week after they put
Yeah.
Tennessee over us, but this week I still don't know how Tennessee only drops 5 spots to 18. Honestly, I don't get that, but Mizzou at number 9 feels right. A couple things go our way, dude, and we could be top 6 if we only had one loss. But we're not going to dwell on that because this season has been magical.
Yeah.
Top 9. This is the first time in college football playoff um, history that Mizzou is in the top 10.
Yeah.
So it feels really good. It's a good time to be a Mizzou fan. I know we just watched it live together, and I remember when the screen showed up and it had 15 through 10, no
Yeah.
11,
Yeah. 11. Yeah.
and they weren't there, and I was like, and then 10 shows up, and in my head I'm like, okay, we're 10, and
Yeah.
then it's Louisville, and I was just like, this is nuts, dude. We're about to be 9, so that's really good. But I have a question for you.
Yep.
I don't know if you've been, thinking about bowl games or not. I know we still have 2 games left, but I'm going to ask you it this week. I'm going to ask you it again next week, and then I'll ask you again after that. Um, Bowl games. I'm only going to give you New Year Six bowls. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to give you Rose Bowl, or 2 of these are the college football playoff bowls. I think it's the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl this year are the college football playoffs. So you got the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and the Peach Bowl. Which of those do you look if you could pick
Yeah.
which bowl, and if you could pick your opponent for your dream bowl game matchup, who would you do? And I say your opponent, like make it like a realistic opponent, but you don't have to worry about like the complications of like how the bowls are choosing and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Um, you said Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Peach Bowl, Citrus Bowl, or no? What
I
was the other one?
uh, do Orange Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Peach Bowl, and Fiesta Bowl. I'm gonna verify that while you tell me your dream matchup, and if it's one of the
I,
college football playoff bowls, then I'll tell you don't do that one.
I would say Um, we've had our fair share of the Cotton Bowl, and a little bitter about it because that was the bowl we got in '07 when we got
Mm.
kicked out of a BCS bowl, losing the Big 12 championship to Oklahoma. And still a good memory. We whooped the hell out of Arkansas that year, and then we also won the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma State in 2013, I think. And I think that was the last time we went. Might have gone another time and lost it, but I think yeah, we've had our fair share of the Cotton Bowl. Also, I'm not considering any travel logistics for Mizzou fans or anything like that. I know it's down in Texas, probably be one of the closer games to go to. But just purely looks, aesthetics, opponent, all that. I think the Fiesta Bowl sounds fun.
In Arizona.
Yeah, I think that sounds fun. Or yeah, I don't care. Peach Stew, whatever.
The
Uh,
Fiesta Bowl is on January 1st, so
okay,
and it's the game that's uh, before the Rose Bowl, which is a playoff game. So we
okay.
play the same day as the playoff games. It's at 1 p.m. I don't know if that's EST, so it'd be at noon.
Okay.
I kind of want a
Uh,
night game, but I would be it'd be cool.
yeah. I know yeah, time of day, I'm not sure about all that. But Fiesta Bowl sounds fun. I think kind of the same thing as, Cotton Bowl fatigue. I've got Texas fatigue. And they're joining the SEC too. So we're gonna get enough of them in the years to come. Yeah, it's an old Big 12 rematch and whatnot. They beat us in the Texas Bowl 2017. It was Drew Lock's junior year, I believe.
Yeah,
And
rough.
we got a viral GIF of that from Drew Lock doing the
I,
whatever. Don't really care to play Texas. I think it's a good uniform matchup. I think it'd be really two really good teams. Even though Texas did lose their running back of the year, torn ACL, I think, Brooks.
mm,
I saw that on Sunday. My roommate from sophomore year, Colby, shout out Colby, he's a Texas fan. So, yeah, not really feeling a Texas matchup. I would say just a cool matchup with another college football blue blood. Um, I don't know where we're going to end up in the rankings too, so I guess that all factors in. But give me, I don't know, dude. I would just be so excited to play in a freaking New Year's Six bowl.
I agree. I agree.
God damn, who would be cool? Out of like Louisville, Oregon State. I don't know. Penn State's kind of the one that's coming to mind. I don't know why,
It'd be cool.
but I think it'd be cool. Who else is in the top five? We're not playing Bama. I doubt we'd play Bama. But if we did,
There's
that'd
no
be
way they make two SEC teams play each other. No, I would love a Bama matchup. It
mhm,
sucks we're not gonna get it this year. I think it would actually be a good matchup.
yeah,
Um, maybe in NY6 Bowl, if they lose to Georgia in the SEC championship, maybe it's a possibility. I don't know the implications of how they pick teams for the NY6 Bowls.
mhm.
Um,
Give me Washington or Oregon. There we go. I've got my answer.
okay, so you want the Fiesta Bowl with Washington, Oregon.
Yep, one of the Pac-12 teams before the Pac-12 is over. Let's do that.
Okay. Okay. You know what's funny? While you were sitting there, I was thinking about my answer, and I was thinking Washington. Or
Mhm.
no, I was thinking Oregon. I think Oregon would be awesome.
Well, and you said Mizzou's the Oregon of the SEC,
I
so
did that. That did. I think that would be a really cool matchup.
yeah.
And I also think Washington would be cool. Um, if they honestly, I'm glad you brought. I didn't even think about this. If they could somehow get Bama, I know it's an SEC matchup, but like,
Yeah, well, yeah.
people are saying like it sucks that they're not playing them this year just because they think that would be a close game. Some people would pick Mizzou to win, which I think is crazy because never in my life would I think people pick Mizzou to beat Bama. Um,
I would be cautious with that based on how Bama whooped LSU, but I think we'd still put up a damn good fight.
yeah, but they targeted their quarterback. And but it'd be a good matchup on a neutral field. I think that'd be one to watch. But I would say my number one's probably Oregon, and I'm not including the top four teams. I think a Florida State matchup would be cool if that could somehow happen.
Yeah,
Um, Florida State, Oregon, like you said, Texas. Like if it happened, it would be cool. But they're about to be in the SEC.
yeah.
Penn State would be a fun one.
Mhm.
I think we would beat Penn State. Like I'm fairly confident we'd beat them.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, those three, Oregon, Washington. If somehow they were like, let's put SEC matchup, give me Bama, that would be really cool. But the next thing I wanted to read to you is, so there's bowl projections for Mizzou. I'm going
Mhm.
to read them to you. Um, these are um, people from like expert websites, ESPN, CBS, 247, these kind of things. So they're projecting the bowl game and our opponent. Okay. So Schlabach, I think that's how you say his name. He's projecting the Cotton Bowl versus Texas. Bonagura from ESPN is predicting, and I may have butchered these names. Don't judge me. But he's predicting the Peach Bowl versus Tulane. How do you feel about that?
That'd be fun too. I forgot about Tulane, honestly. That'd be fun.
It'd be an interesting matchup, to be honest with
They,
you.
they would the home field advantage for sure. Because
They
Tulane, New Orleans, and then what it'd be in Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. They played Ole Miss close, so that would be a good matchup. Jerry Palm from CBS says Citrus Bowl versus Iowa. I think we would. I think we would. Yeah. I
You
don't understand
yeah.
why Iowa's in a New Year's Six Bowl personally. Actually, the next three people after Jerry predict the same thing: Citrus Bowl versus Iowa. Um, I'm not a fan of Iowa. I think if we played them, like I would love to whoop their ass.
Yeah.
Brett McMurphy from Action Network picked Cotton Bowl versus Texas, so that's the second one we've gotten there. Oliver from College Football Network picked Peach Bowl versus Louisville. I think that would be kind of cool, mainly because I have ties to the Louisville area. I don't. They're not Louisville fans, but like they live there, so it's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bill Bender from Sporting News, Orange Bowl versus Louisville, and then there's no name for this predictor, but it's College Football News, Cotton Bowl versus Liberty.
Okay.
Um, I
No,
guess
wait. Liberty? Yeah. What are they're not even. Are they top 20 even? I
no,
don't feel like they're. Yeah.
no, but there must be some like implications that maybe we don't know of that would put them in there. I don't see how they would get in there. Um, they're not in the top 25 either,
Yeah. I
but I
think they
think
were,
they're.
but they dropped. Yeah.
I think they might be undefeated though.
I would say my final thoughts on this bowl subject would be, Iowa would be a fun rematch from the standpoint of we played them in 2000. It was a Blaine Gabbert Bowl, and I think it was the Insight Bowl, and we lost it. So it'd be fun. I still hold grudges. I'm one of the biggest grudge holders that you will ever meet. So it'd be nice to avenge a bowl loss to Iowa. And also, it's a lot of black and gold, but I think they could find a way to make that a good uniform matchup. Um,
Yeah, but
another,
their black and gold's ugly.
yeah, of course. Um, I think the uniform matchup. I think Oregon would be a very fun game, but I think the uniform matchup would be more fun if our uniforms were the old ones. Like if we still were in like those 2013 style. I think kind of our like back to traditional uniforms now that we have. Oregon's always doing something crazy with them, so I think that'd be kind of a weird mismatch. And
I think
then
you should black out against them. That's what I would want.
we'll do, yeah. And one other thought I was going to say about that, Louisville, yeah. Also a Notre Dame fan over here. I know, sue me, hate me if you want, but I have a family reason. So yeah, my aunt, shout out Teresa, went to Notre Dame Law School. She's been taking me over there, or taking me to Notre Dame games ever since middle school, and they're awesome. Not as good as Mizzou, but they're awesome. Um, but yeah, Louisville unexpectedly whooped on Notre Dame earlier in the year, so I wouldn't mind Mizzou getting some revenge for them. Yeah, that was my final thoughts on that. And then, if you don't have a thing to transition to, I have a bold question for you that I got from my buddy earlier today. Um,
Okay,
shout
let's
out,
hear it.
yeah, shout out Ian McCluskey, my PT classmate. He said, I was reading it right after I got off work, and he said, okay, question. Would you rather win out the regular season, beat Florida, beat Arkansas, lose a New Year's Six bowl game, or would you lose out, lose to Florida, lose to Arkansas, and then win whatever bowl game you get then?
I would 100% rather win out and lose in the New Year's Six. I think the New Year's Six is good for the program. I mean, I think just getting there, losing it obviously would suck, but I
Yeah,
think losing to a team of that caliber would be a lot better than losing to Florida and Arkansas.
that's more respectable. I get that. Yeah, that was what he said too. I'm
Because you're
just so,
10-3.
yeah, I know. It looks better. I'm so, dude, I'm just hungry for a bowl win. We've watched, did we watch, we didn't watch who was the one last year? Army was 2 years ago. Who we lose to? Wake Forest. Yeah, we watched the Army bowl game loss, and it came down to a last second field goal. against freaking Army.
That was
And then
rough.
last year was just a Wake Forest game that Brady Cook wasn't, his final evolution yet, and we didn't get the job done because of all the damn, I mean, bowl games have been different for however many years now because of all the opt outs for the draft and whatnot. We weren't at full strength on the defense, and Sam Hartman is a stud. I mean, he's transferred to Notre Dame now, but he played a damn good game. But I'm just sick and tired of losing bowl games, dude. Like, I don't care. Well, I don't want it to be the freaking Gasparilla Bowl again, but I just want to win a fucking bowl game.
No, I agree. I would want to win a bowl game, but I just think losing to a Florida team this year that's not very good, and then losing to an Arkansas team that is not good at all, just to
They were
play in
holding
some
against us forever.
that yeah, and playing in some mediocre bowl game with the season that we've had, I think the NY6 bowl has to be the answer, regardless if you lose. Now you didn't say how we lost; it could be 1 point,
Right.
but I think losing to a team in that threshold, you know, will help Mizzou, um, get over that hump, man. I
I
think
agree.
that's what you gotta pick.
It's better for the brand. I get that point. So
But I was looking at because you're like, why would Liberty be in a bowl game? They're 10-0.
yeah,
They're undefeated. Now, granted, their conference isn't great, but they're 10-0. It's respectable nonetheless to win 10 games in a row and the D1 levels. Impressive.
yeah,
But we'll move on past this. I'm gonna ask this question every week until we figure out what the bowl game is that we get.
yeah,
Um, we still have 2 games to win. With that being said, we're gonna move on to Florida. Talk about the Florida matchup. First thing I do want to bring up is the opening line. I don't know if you've seen it. If not, I'm gonna ask you what it is. I'm gonna have you guess. What do you think the opening line is and who's favored?
I think I recall seeing it a couple days ago, but I could be wrong. I think it is Mizzou minus 10. Is that what it is?
It's I checked today and I checked again right before we did this. It's Mizzou minus 11.5,
Okay, that's close. That's the best one I've had so far.
which is actually it's really not crazy, but to be up 11.5 point favorite against an SEC team
Is
um, is a lot. It's a lot. Florida is an interesting team. They beat a team like Tennessee, but then they lose to a team like Arkansas. Um, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. ESPN has the matchup predictor. I like to look at this before any team I follow. I'm not saying it's the most accurate thing in the world, but it just gives me kind of an idea of what the ESPN um, analytics feel. They have a 77.7%, 777. That's got to be a lucky number, right? That means we're winning 400-0. 77.7% Mizzou victory, which feels really good. I don't know if we've been that favorite in a few weeks now, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Maybe since like the Vandy game, maybe. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think the Florida Gators are 5-5. Some of their key wins.
Cassie, come here, come here, come here. She had to make her weekly appearance.
Hey, we
Cassie,
love it. After that Mizzou win, she's just telling us how her thoughts.
yeah, Cassie, hey, come here, come here, girl.
Let's see here, but
Cassie, come on.
Florida key victories. They beat Tennessee. They were ranked 11 at the time. Um,
Cassie.
they beat South Carolina. They beat uh, Vandy. Like
Yeah,
those are their key wins. Losses. Utah start of the year. Take that with what you want. Utah's not a bad team, but I think the Florida team now is better than them. They got smoked by Kentucky, smoked by Georgia, lost to Arkansas, and they played LSU somewhat close. They lost by 17, but like Jaden Daniels turned into like Superman in that game.
yeah.
So it'll be an interesting matchup. I think we win. I mean, but the thing with that is Florida's 1 game away from being bowl eligible. Do you know who their other game is besides us?
Um, is it Florida State? Did
It
they
is
finish?
Florida State.
Yeah. They ain't winning
Um,
that.
that's what I'm saying. So they're gonna give us everything.
Oh my God.
They're gonna give us everything. Graham Mertz also. I was looking at his stats today.
Didn't
He
realize
only has
that.
2 interceptions.
2 interceptions. Wow.
He has 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2,700 yards.
Do you know he was a KC kid? I didn't realize that.
I found out today. Actually, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Um, so he doesn't turn the ball over. He's efficient. His uh, his completion percentage is over 70%. The dude's efficient. He's not going to put the ball in danger. With that being said, though, you're gonna like this stat right here. He's been sacked. So Brady Cook has been sacked um, like 19 times. Maybe not
Mhm.
even that much. Let me pull it up. So Brady Cook's been sacked 19 times. Yes. Graham Mertz has been sacked 30. You get to him. He may not throw an interception, but you're gonna sack him. 30 sacks, dude. That's like fourth in the SEC because Arkansas doesn't know how to block anybody. But
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler's been sacked 36 times, and it felt like Mizzou lived in that backfield when we played them.
Yeah. Did we get him like 8 times or something like that?
Yeah, it was like 6 or 7 times. Carson Beck's been sacked 8 times. Mizzou got him three of the
Hmm.
8.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel pretty confident when it comes to that. I think we're gonna
Mhm.
get to him, pressure him. I think that's how we win this game.
Yeah.
Um, with the way Cody played last week, they're going to double down on him probably. But they have to know you can't double down on him with our receiving weapons. I really want to get the tight ends. I say this every week. I want to get the tight ends involved.
Yeah.
Norfleet is massive. Seeing that dude in person, isn't he a freshman? Am I wrong, or is he a freshman?
Yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's a freshman.
He's massive. He is
Yeah.
so. I was sitting there like, God, what are they feeding this dude?
No,
Um,
it really makes
uh,
you think. I'm seeing all these high school recruits, and I'm like, bro, I'm 25, and I just their bodies don't make sense.
No, so I'm feeling confident going this game. I think it should be a win. Mizzou can't overlook them though. Florida is good enough. If you overlook them, they can beat you. But if you prepare and do all the things that you've been doing all season to get to where you are, you're going to win. I think you win by 2 scores. You know. Give me your thoughts. Are you worried about anything? What do you think Mizzou needs to? What do you think the game plan should be offensively, defensively? Give me your thoughts.
My thoughts shifted from immediate post game Saturday to Saturday night because obviously we destroyed Tennessee the way we do. I'm like, okay, the last 2 weeks are going to be a cakewalk. And then I go watch the LSU Florida game out at Understudy Saturday night,
Mm.
and they're playing them tight. I know LSU pulled away. I think it was a close game though, second quarter maybe. I don't know, but Florida was putting up a much better fight than I expected them to. And I was like, oh, okay, we might have our hands a little more full than I thought we would.
Mm.
But like you said, I still think Mizzou's going to take care of business. I don't think, season's not over. Tennessee was not our Super Bowl. There's still a job to do. Still go 1-0 every week, get to 10-2, play a good bowl game. Um, yeah, I think pressure the quarterback as always. Got the defense to do it. Force errors, for force turnovers, and I know we hadn't talked about this, but it's been in the group chat. I love the fact that Luther Burden is our moneymaker. Well, Cody Schrader is now too, but even with Burden being a little hobbled up on Saturday, we found another way to win the game. So I love the fact that we don't have to force feed. Kind of, I mean, to throw the Chiefs in there, like this season, when the offense is not clicking, it's because Travis Kelsey is not involved. But
Mm.
Sue's offense is so much more versatile this year, it feels like, because Cody Schrader has gone off for 300 scrimmage yards. And then in other games, Luther Burden has just completely taken over. So even when Burden's hobbled up, and hopefully, he's not as banged up this week or for the rest of the season, um, just spread it around. Whatever way we got to win, I'm cool. I don't care if our identity is a run heavy team, pass heavy team, win the damn game. I don't care if Brady Cook goes for. I mean, I don't care. I'd love it if he goes out for a Jaden Daniel performance against Florida too, back to back weeks. That'd be pretty sweet. Just runs for 5, throws for 3, or what? I don't care. Yeah. Win the damn game. That's my thoughts.
I agree. I agree. Just win the game. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if they're on trick plays every play. No, clearly, I think our team is well, well better. That doesn't even make sense. They're so much better than Florida.
You English.
Yeah, dude. I just can't get over the fact that we're ranked 9, dude.
I were just in we're on cloud nine, man.
That's
We know.
literally what it feels like, dude. I've thought about I've thought about it this whole time. It's like ranked 9. I would like to see Luther healthier for this game. If he's not, then obviously don't target him. But I would love to see him go over 100 yards again. Um, Tennessee does a good job, limiting deep balls. So Cody Schrader decided to give it to him. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm excited for this game. Um, Not as nervous as past games. Still can't overlook it. It's an SEC matchup. You're playing the Florida Gators. It's a home game, senior night,
Home
which is
game, night game.
awesome.
Don't know how the weather's going to be, but it's Missouri in November. It's not Florida, so hopefully that is advantageous as well.
Hopefully it sells out. I would love to see it sell
5
out.
this year would be insane. 4 is
Yeah,
insane. 5 would be.
especially especially last home game, senior night. I would love to see it for those guys because they've been here since right before COVID, and for them to experience this kind of season, their last season. Some of them may not even get the chance to play ball at the next level. So to end it out on a bang, packed out crowd, get a dub at home on senior night, that would be truly special. It would truly show you like how special this year has been for the Missouri Tigers. So that would be awesome. So anybody that listens to this, if you're in Columbia or you're going or thinking about going to the game, go pack it out one more time. Um, Really show these Missouri Tigers, how much fun we're having as fans this year. Um, and really show your support. That would be awesome. But with that being said, I feel like we've talked about the Florida Gators enough. There's not a lot to talk about. I'm
I
gonna
don't
whip
think
their ass too.
I don't think it'll be coming down to an overtime 2-point conversion like it did 2 years ago.
No, and it definitely shouldn't. But Andrew,
Yes,
what
sir.
is the score prediction for Saturday? Do you want to wait?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm actually glad I brought this up. All right, so we talked about this before.
Yes.
Whoever is closer to the total number of points, the loser
Yep.
has to do a TikTok dance and post it on the TikTok or on the Off the Dome socials. So make sure you follow, watch for that. I'm going to tell you what the over under is, and that's the line. Just so we know. Um, but the over under for this game is 58.5 points.
Okay. What was
Uh,
before I answer this question, what was the score of the LSU Florida game? Was it 40
it
to
w-
20, I think?
no, it was 52 LSU to Florida 35.
Oh,
So they
okay.
got to 87.
Um, hmm, okay. Well, in the last 2 weeks, I've been in the 30-30 range,
Mhm.
and I was pretty damn close on the Mizzou score this week. I've already bragged about that. Um, I don't know. When has Mizzou scored 40 this year? And I'm just forgetting about it. Have we scored 40 at all, or we the highest we got was 30s?
The
Kentucky.
highest we have is 39.
So I don't know. Do I go out on a limb and pick 40 something? Hmm. I don't know. I don't feel like we've got the offense to do it, but I don't know if we're a 40 in the 40s range team.
Okay.
I'm going to say 40, 21.
So you're going 60. So 60 total, or 61, 40, 21.
40 to 21.
Okay, so you have a 19-point victory for your Missouri Tigers. So you're going with the over. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Um, I am going with kind of like the 40s. Kind of like in the 40s.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was a bang.
I'm gonna go 45
Okay.
to 27. No, wait, hang on. Yeah, 45 to 27.
Okay. So an 18-point victory.
18-point victory. That puts me at 55, 65, 72 points total. Is that right? Is my mathing?
I do believe so. Yeah, 72. Yeah.
All right. So whoever is closer to the total number of points will do a TikTok dance and post it on the socials. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That should be entertaining. I really, really hope.
Probably hit by like 3 points, just like a fucking fantasy game.
I really hope that you're the one that has to do it, just because that would be hilarious. I've never seen you do something like that, so that would be awesome. Unfortunately, I may have posted a couple, you know, not dancing TikToks, but TikToks
Mhm.
In my day, they're gone. You'll never see them ever again, unless Andy's closer this weekend. We'll we'll find out.
Yeah,
But we're gonna just talk a little bit about this basketball team before we end the show.
yeah,
Um, we're just gonna touch on it a little bit. It's still early on the season, still figuring out this team,
yeah,
so we don't have to talk about it for too long. But I do want to touch base. Obviously, Friday we played Memphis, which was the big matchup of the weekend for the Mizzou basketball.
yeah,
Um, we lost by 15, which is unfortunate. We shot super poorly. Halftime, halftime we had the lead by 7, and then in the second half, Memphis doubles our score. Like we scored 22 in the second half, they scored 44. It really came down to our field goal percentage, which I'm just gonna go over that really quick. They shot Memphis shot 44%, which really still isn't that good. We shot 32% from the field.
yeah.
That should be
And
your that's
percent
like a
from
low 3-point percentage. Like that should be what your 3-point field goal percentage is, like
yeah,
on average maybe. Like that is that is not good. Our 3-pointer was 21%. Our free throws were 76%, but we went 13 for 17, like whatever. And then the next thing that stood out to me is rebounds. We got out rebounded by 14.
yeah. Memphis has a big team, dude. I went to that game in person, and it was a common theme last year. I felt
Mhm.
like, but now that we have more size than we did last year, we still felt so much smaller. I mean, Memphis had some dudes, some big boys.
Memphis is a good team, man. I think it was one of those games we still could have won. I'm not
But
mad that we lost. Some people were overreacting, talking about this is going to be a long season. It's
mhm,
early. We're still trying to figure out our lineup. Um, it sucks we lost at home by 15, but I don't think that's necessarily a season-ending loss. Because I mean, yesterday we played SIUE Edwardsville and we won by 18. The game was closer than it looked, or it was. It looks closer on the score than I think it actually was.
yeah,
And we shot 43%. Sean East actually went crazy this game. He had um, he had 20 points, but he went 8 for 11, dude. The dude
yeah,
just
he,
like game
he,
one and game two, he missed a total of 4 shots. Against Memphis, he missed 3. Like
yeah,
the dude has been consistently making the shots, which is really good to see.
mhm,
Um, we play I don't even really want to talk about those past games. Memphis was just ugly, and then SIUE, like you're not going to learn like a whole lot. You're just going to get guys in, get them experience, show them the speed of D1 basketball.
mhm.
We do have a big game coming up this Thursday.
Minnesota. Yep.
Yes, we play Minnesota at 8 o'clock.
Mhm,
Minnesota is 2-0. We are 2-1. I do want to kind of go over just that game just a little bit. It's a big game. It's a
yeah,
big game. I think Minnesota is a game that we need to win. It's one of those other games. It's you're gonna be able to kind of gauge how our season will be. Almost again, it's still early. Things can always change.
yeah.
Um, but Minnesota. Here we go. Okay. Oh wow, Sean East is shooting 74.1% from the field right now. That is absurd. By the way, if he keeps shooting 74.1% the rest of the year, which he won't, but if he
Yeah.
did, like I don't want him to ever not shoot the basketball. But ESPN again, not the most accurate predictor, but they have us at a 49.6% chance of winning. So it's about 50-50.
That ain't bad.
It, it's a home game, and unfortunately, that's where they got us.
Yeah.
Minnesota hasn't played anybody yet, um, at least this year, but
Mhm,
they are averaging in their 2 games they played 91 points. They do with that what you will.
mhm.
But I'm excited for this game. I don't know too much about Minnesota, so I can't give you
Yeah.
my expert analysis on this game. I
Yep.
think it'll be a good game.
Yep.
I think we need to clearly rebound better. Connor Vanover does get to play in this game, which is nice.
Yeah, suspension's finally over. Yeah.
Um, quotes from Dennis Gates: "Free Connor Vanover." I imagine he'll be starting. It sounds like he was supposed to be in the starting lineup in the first game until they found out about his suspension.
Mhm.
So he'll be starting, which will be nice. I just really want to see some more paint presence from our big men.
Yep.
Um, Aiden Shaw was all over the court last night.
Yep.
Um, But we'll see what happens, man. I'm excited. We'll have a stretch. I mean, you guys, you can call him a stretch five, because Connor Vanover can shoot the three.
Hmm.
He's like 7'6", so clearly he should be okay in the paint. And he's a good passer. So I'm excited. I'm overall excited. Again, it's early. It's early on in the season to kind of give too much insight on this Mizzou team. I think if you win this game, it's a good step.
Hmm.
Some of the fans are already overreacting, saying this is going to be a long season. Like, get over it.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, I'm going to compare the Mizzou football team. We beat Middle Tennessee by 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone was done with us then, and look at us now.
Yeah. It's a long season.
It's a long season. It's just getting started.
Yeah.
I remember last year when the team started, our starting lineup to start the year was completely different, and like the rotations and the minutes players were getting was completely different than what it was by the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, and they also talked about this on the broadcast last night. They've kind of got the home, what's what I'm looking for, home field, I guess, commentator, since it's such a local game. But they had the guy that does like all the Mizzou network stuff, and then Jared Sutton commenting the game.
Yeah,
And Dennis Gates was very intentional in making this non-con schedule a lot more challenging than last year, because we played nobody until we got to
yep,
Kansas last
yep.
year in December. And then we got our ass whooped. Oh, the lights were too bright. It was the first big stage game for a lot of those guys that had transferred over from Cleveland State
That's
with
good.
Dennis Gates, yeah. And I obviously was intentional this year to set much more challenges in front of these guys early in the year, give them that reality check, which Memphis was Friday night. I was unfortunately there to witness the second half meltdown, but it's gonna be in the long run a good thing for these guys. They're gonna adjust quicker. They're gonna learn a lot of things, and I think they'll be better off for it as the season goes on. But
I think so too. I think it's really going to show you who the hoopers are. I think the whole team can hoop, but it really brings out those guys who are going to be playmakers in those big time games.
yeah,
Um, so I'm excited. Again, it's super early. I don't think you should give up on your Tigers yet. And if you are like, great, you're a fair weather fan. I don't really care,
yeah,
if that makes you feel some type of way because you are.
yeah.
There's how many college basketball games are there? 30.
30 mid
They're in the
30s.
30s, and we've played 3 of them. I'm like, get out of here with that, man.
Yeah.
Um, this is some of these players last year's, and you're already shitting on them 3 games in. Like that's absurd.
If you have lost faith in Dennis Gates this quickly in year two after what he did for us last year, then yeah, you're not even a fair weather fan. You're just you're not a fan.
That's what I'm
So
saying. Like
yeah,
trust the process. Put trust in Dennis Gates. I truly think he's going to be an elite coach
mhm,
for a long time. Hopefully he's a Mizzou Tiger for the rest of his life. That would be awesome.
yeah.
Um, I haven't given up on these guys, and I don't think anybody should. I think
Well, even if
thir-
this year is a step down from last year, we've got what, the second best recruiting class in the nation coming in next year. Like, this program is, it's the same thing as drinking. It's like
takes time. Takes time to build.
time. Yeah. So
Rome
trust.
wasn't built in a day.
Yep.
Dude, I've never used that line before. I've always wanted to use that. That was
Come on,
awesome.
David. Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
no, but yeah, I mean, it takes time, and we may not figure it completely out until game 15.
right.
Hopefully you're still winning games, so you're in a position to still make the bracket. I think that should be the minimum goal is March Madness.
Yep.
I don't care if you're the lowest seed that you can beat. I think that's the minimum goal. You did it year one.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to do it year two moving forward. Um, so I'm excited
Yeah.
for this game Thursday. It's actually going to be we get Minnesota Thursday. We get then Mizzou football against Florida on Saturday, and then the next basketball game is Jackson State, which is on Sunday. You know,
Yeah.
I would like to see Mizzou go 2-0 this week in basketball.
Yeah.
Um, that would be huge. But anyways, buddy, I think that is it. Unless you have anything else you wanted to touch on.
No, I'll just do a very brief, because, like you said, very early in the season. The pregame show Friday, first game of the year for me in attendance. Pregame show is awesome. The new
Mhm.
video board they've got is a huge improvement. The light show that all the fans did with their phones. I mean, the atmosphere. It was good last year. It's going to be even better this year, as long as fans keep turning out and the team keeps playing well. They have like this new kind of video I don't know, some projection thing they do on the court looks really cool. I mean, the whole pregame atmosphere is awesome. First half, we looked good. We got up to a 12-point lead against Memphis, and I'm like, all right, just we're rolling on, man. The Dennis Gates show continues on, and then we just went ice cold, you know. And I mean, we were inconsistent last year. We'd be hot, then we'd be cold, then hot and cold, but it wouldn't go for as long as it did Friday night. We went ice cold for pretty much the entire second half,
Yeah,
and
that's what
game like that. So it happened. It sucks. I was quite demoralized. But I did stay a hell of a lot longer than a lot of the other guys in the student section. I stayed until about I think 3 minutes left, and I finally was just like, you know what, let's get walking back to the car. But there were positive takeaways from that game. Sean East, like you said, he's a totally different player than he was last year,
it
and he's just taken the next step and then another three. So it's awesome to see that progression. And they interviewed him after the game last night, and how he's talking about how he was just mentoring, you know, the new guys this year, and how he's kind of taken that rollover from Trago Million and all the guys last year. So very promising to see that from him this early on. I think Noah Carter looked better last night against SIUE. Um, Aiden Shaw is good, and then who's the freshman? Jordan. Remind me of his last name. 14 on the team.
I don't know his first name, but I'll tell you right now, it is
Robinson. Yeah,
Anthony Robinson the second.
I like him. He's going to
He
be
plays
good.
a lot, dude. Our freshmen rotate in, which is, I mean,
Yeah.
our freshmen rotate in, which looks really good.
Yeah. So those are my positive takeaways from that one. And then obviously last night we bounced back. First half was neck and neck with them, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be. The spirits were low. I'm like, it's going to be a long year for Mizzou basketball. But then second half, it honestly was kind of like the inverse of the Memphis game. Came out really slow, sluggish.
Oh yeah.
And then second half looked a lot better. So, and granted, you got to take in the quality of the opponent, but SIU had some ballers. So I don't want to throw them under the bus too much. They had a couple really good players that I still don't like our defensive strategy of leaving guys open for wide open threes. That's going to bite you more times than not. But I think there are positive takeaways. I think the rebounding was better last night too, just from a casual observation. And like we've talked about, I think mixing in the rookies, getting them more playing time, the freshmen. Yeah, I'm going to stay optimistic until we get our ass just completely whooped by Minnesota or Pitt coming up. It's early year two. Let's just see what happens. So
I agree. I agree. I'm still feeling good about this team.
yeah.
I mean, our team is again like completely new, so they still, are going to learn to play together. So I'm overall excited for it all, big guy. I think that is going to do it for the show. Remember, follow the socials. It's at Off the Dome Show on everything. Give us a follow. New episodes are live every Wednesday at 8 a.m. in the morning. There's a video on YouTube. We're on Spotify, not yet on Apple, because for some reason it was not letting me make an Apple account and get that situated. We have every social media from Facebook to Instagram to YouTube to TikTok to MySpace to Craigslist, whatever. You'll find us anywhere.
He's got it all, folks.
So follow it all. Stay up to date. Again, episodes every Wednesday, and how we end every episode. My guy, MIZ.
ZOU.
See ya.
Say, bud.